Well, Giannolas, welcome to the Horse Race Advantage. We are looking at our weekly statistics for the week ending Wednesday, March the 2nd, and we're looking for a track where we have a high probability of coming out ahead by looking at our statistics. And here we are, Aqueducts with 36 races. We are 72% in the money, 31% win, and 14% place. Charlestown, 32 races, 63% in the money, 13% win rate, and 28% place. We have a feature where we can click on the column header to do a sort and that particular column. And here we go. We have 79% in the money for Golden Gates, 75% in the money for Los Alamitos, 72% for Aqueducts, 67% Delta Downs. Alright, we can also do the percent win rate. Turf Paradise 38%, Tampa Bay Downs 36%, Delta Downs 33%. Sam Houston 58% in the money with 32% win rate. This week, let's go see if we can find a race at Delta Downs where we have a 67% in the money and a 33% win rate. Let's go to our rankings. In Delta Downs, we're looking at March the 5th, and now we're looking for a big gap between the top 3 and the rest of the field to see if some of these horses actually stand out from the rest of the field. Here we go on the rankings. Race number 1, 16.5, 12.25, 10.25. There's no big gap here. There's a almost an 8-point gap between the 7 horse and the 5 horse. We want to keep that in mind here. Race number 2, 15, 14.75, 14.5, no big gap here, so we're going to skip race number 2 and go on to race number 3. Race number 3, 13.5, 13, 10.5, 8, no big gap here either, so we're going to skip race number 3. By the way, for those people that don't know our rankings, the more history we have on a particular horse, the higher these numbers start showing up. So this is probably a maiden race because there's just not a whole lot of history on these horses. Let's take a quick look. This is a claimer, okay, for 4 years old and up. Alright, let's go on to race number 4. Race number 4, 21, 25, 18, 16, 16. There's no big gap here, so we're going to skip race number 4 and go on to race number 5. 17, 75, 15.5, 12.25, no big gap here. There's a nice gap actually here between this 9 horse and the 4 horse of almost 5 points. So, but this is a maiden race, as can be seen from this little asterisk. This indicates this is a first-time starter. So this is a maiden race, and we like to stay away from these type of races because they're very unpredictable. Let's go to race number 6. 22, 25, 18, 75, 16, 25. There's no big gap here, therefore, except there's almost a 6-point gap here between the 4 and the 5 horse, and an 8-point gap between the 4 horse and the 2 horse. So let's take a quick look and see what kind of race number 6 is. Race number 6 is an allowance optional claim with a purse of 34,500. And here we see Sibling War. Ran on January 27th with a 76 buy rating and a 6.5 furlong. Okay, Sibling War. Okay, let's keep race number 6 in mind. This horse is, by the way, trained by Moss, very good trainer. Let's go on to look at number 7, 16, 25, 13, 75, 13. There's no big gap here, but there is a nice big gap between the 1 horse and the 2 horse, almost 10 points. Let's take a quick look and see what kind of a race this one is. Race number 7. Race number 7 is a claimer race, 4 years old and up, and 16,500. There's Mrs. Doro and Gold, 51 buy rating, ran in 2015 with a 5.5 furlong. She ran here, she's the fastest at the 5 furlong workout at a 1:03.8, which is actually fairly slow. So let's continue on and take a look at race number 8. 22.5, 22, 19, 18, no big gap here, so we're going to skip that race and go on to race number 9. 17, 12.75, 12.5, 10, There's no big gap here, but there's a nice big gap between the 7 horse and the 12 horse of 7 points. Not as big as the other one that we saw in race 6, race number 10. 19, 14, 25, 13.5, 12.5. There's almost a 6.5 point gap here between the 6 and the 1 horse. And of course, there's a big gap between 19 and 12.5. There's, what, 6.5 points here? Let's take a quick look. Race number 10 is a claimer again for 4 years old and up. And we have That's My Choice. When February the 17th, 2016, with a 61 buyer rating at the 6.5 floor on the same race distance as today. Okay, That's My Choice. That's My Choice. We picked third. Let's continue on to race number 11, 17.25, 13.25, 12.25, 10.75. There's a gap between the 12 horse and the 2 horse of 5 points. And actually 7 points between the 12 horse and the 7 horse. Let's take a quick look. Race number 11 is another maiden race. Purse of 14,000 for 3-year-olds. Of course, these are very young horses, and so these horses are very green. Let's go on to race. That's the last race. So this week, let's go to race number 6. Okay, we have a nice big gap between 22.25 and 14.25 of 8 points. So if we can pick up one of these horses here, we are certainly going to be in the money. So for these people that have a premium membership at thehorseraceadvantage.com, I'll be doing in-depth analysis. I hope to see you on the inside. Horseraceadvantage.com, race number 6 at Delta Downs.